The accused number 3 has got a very distinctive skin cut.
My Lord, I'm going to stand with my point. I'm not going to answer my question.
Okay.
Ngizovele ngiyihlale khona laphana la ngiphendule ngakhona angeke ngiphawule kangaka.
In your evidence in chief, sir, in your evidence in chief, you were further requested to make comments on the hairstyle that the person who you pointed out as accused number 3 on the photos had. Do you remember that?
The hairstyle, what? You know what?
I'm saying, in your evidence in chief, you were requested to comment on the hairstyle that the person who was depicted on the photos, who you pointed out as accused number 3, was wearing.
That's correct, my Lord.
Yebo kuyiqiniso ngabuzwa ke ukuthi lo muntu ke oqhamuka khona lapha okanye ovela kulesi sithombe okuthiwa ke umangalela wesithathu ukuthi ube egqokeni ngikwazile ukuphendula lo mbuzo yebo.
Thank you. Now, if you can remind the court, me specifically, what did you say? What hairstyle was he wearing?
Dreadlocks was in a ponytail.
Ube nama dreadlocks awabambe njengasemuva njenge ponytail.
Why did you refer to that hairstyle as dreadlocks?
Because I identify it as dreadlocks.
Ingoba mina ngiwabone ngibone leso style kuyi dreadlocks.
You naturally were expecting me to ask you if you are a hairstylist or if you're a salon. I won't ask you those questions.
Thank you, my Lord.
Thank you.
Ngiyabonga ukuthi ungazongibuza leyo mbuzo ke.
Because you're not a hairstylist and you probably don't own a salon, not so?
Seems to me we're going to be personal now, my Lord.
Yeah. Please treat the witness with respect, Mr. Mnisi, please.
As it is a court matter. Thank you, sir. I've arranged that certain photos that were made available to us by the state be shown. Now, I want you to have a look at them. Do you see that photo there?
That's correct, my Lord. I can't see the way we're going to move now because I'm a cell phone data analyst, not a picture analyst or a facial analyst.
Ngiyasibona lesi sithombe angazi ke ukuthi manje soqhubeka kanjani ngoba mina ke angisiyena ke umuntu ohlaziya izithombe kangako mina ngihlaziya ke imininingwane emayelana ke nolwazi olukhona mhlambe emahlelweni athize hayi ukuthi ngiloko ngibhekana nelokho njalo nezithombe.
Is that so? You know, it's very strange because I've just said you were requested in your evidence in chief to say what kind of a hairstyle that the person was depicted on the photos they had, and you went on to say the person was wearing dreadlocks, not so? A ponytail dreadlocks. You never said we are not a picture specialist. You never said you're not a hair specialist, but you said, in fact, you never said that you are only a data specialist, but you went on to give your comment. It is on the basis of exactly what you did that this process is now unfolding. Do you understand?
As a court, please, my lords. All the witness said, my lord, was that he was requested by the investigating officer to identify was sent certain photos that would depict a person as having dreadlocks, as well as the certain type of clothing. That's all that he testified to, my lord. And I think my learned colleague is now perhaps putting too fine a point on his evidence.
Yeah, but these photos in the album, they were discovered. In respect of what?
Yes.
In respect of what? In respect of what was the discovery made? In pursuance of what?
Well, just to show the hairstyle of the accused and the clothes that the accused had immediately before the incident.
I see.
Yes.
Okay, I'll allow that question.
As the court pleases.
As it is the court, my lord. Repeat again. Thank you. The question stands.
Repeat the question to me, please. Because it seems to me, my lord, and I don't want to participate in ID parade in court now. It seems it's going the direction that you're going to show me 20 photos, so then I must say it's you or it's not you. And I'm not going to participate in that now.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yabona into engathi manje ngikhathazeka ngayo ukuthi uzongithatha ke engathi uzongisa kwi-combat parade. Angithandi ukuthi mhlambe ngoba ngizophendula nje uzoloku ebuza mhlambe lethe ithombe nje eziningi athi lona uyamazi cha lokho anguthokozeli.
Are you done explaining, sir?
I'm done, my lord.
Uthi yebo ngiqedile ukuchaza.
May you please answer the question?
I'm not going to answer the question like I already put it to the court. I'm not going to be here to take part of ID parade.
Angeke ngikwazi ukuphendula umbuzo mina. Futhi ngeke ngibe ingxenye ye-combat parade. Ngoba sengiyibekile la enkantolo.
Should I regard that as your final answer to the question that the court has ruled that it is admissible?
That's correct, my lord.
Yebo. Qedile.
Let's go to another picture. Thank you. And do you see that picture again? These are all the pictures that were discovered by us, to us by the state. Do you see that photo there?
My lord, it seems to me there's a hearing problem in this court. I did mention I'm not going to take part of any ID parade here, and I'm going to stand with my point.
Manje kwangathi ke khona ongezwa kahle la. Mina ngithe angingeni le ID parade. Ngihlala khona lapha.
Yes, Mr. Mnisi.
Yes, it is the court, my lord. Do you see that photo there?
Now, Mr. Mnisi, come on. You've heard the witnesses. He says he's not going to answer any question regarding what he terms to be a photo identity parade. Even if you show him, if he shows you about 100 photos to identify, are you going to stick with the answer you've given?
I'm going to stick with my answer.
You're not going to change that answer?
No, definitely not, my lord.
Let's make progress.
Yes, it is the court, my lord. Unfortunately, my lord, it is my considered view that I should not be dictated to by a witness who decides to say, not willing to answer that question. If my line and my trajectory of my questions is following a certain line, I'll continue with it up until such time that I am satisfied in view of the preparation that I had in relation to that cross-examination. You can keep on saying, I won't answer those questions, I won't answer those questions, I won't answer those questions. It's fine, but that will not deter me to stop from asking him the questions, no matter how rhetoric they sound, my lord.
If I can press be of assistance to counsel, the investigating officer will come and testify, and he will explain as to why he requested this witness, Colonel Steyn, to compile this photo album, and these questions can then be put to him. All that this witness can say is that he just complied with the request of the investigating officer. As to what the purpose thereof was, can only be explained by the investigating officer.
Yeah, having heard that, is there an affidavit made by Colonel Steyn regarding these photos?
No, the affidavit that has made has already been handed up, my lord.
Yeah, in the affidavit, does he allude to the photos?
No, not these photos, my lord.
No, the only photos that he referred to are the ones that are contained in his affidavit that he referred to last week, my lord.
And the state's view is that the discovery was pertinently made in respect of those photos regarding
Yes.
the identity which had to be...
Yes, but my learned friend is now busy with the photo album of Sergeant Mabasa, and as we indicated, he will be coming to testify.
As Sergeant Mabasa made an affidavit.
Yes.
Just read it into the record.
I've provided copies. It's quite a lengthy
How many pages is it?
affidavit, my lord.
Where he refers to pertinently the photos.
Yes. But, my lord, he can only say that he was requested by the investigating officer also to make a collage of certain photos, and as I've explained, it's only.
And who took the photos?
No, these photos were downloaded.
Who downloaded
Yes.
them? It's Mabasa.
Yes, he downloaded the photos, and at the request of the investigating officer.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Mnisi.
As it is the court, my lord. I think there's one aspect of it all that is being missed by the state in his quest to object to the line of questioning that I have. The very same witness here, my lord, was requested by the court, probably my colleague has forgotten that, was requested by the court when the photos that are depicting accused number 3 were shown on the screen there. And the court actually requested him to identify
But the court
the hairstyle that witness was wearing, my lord. It is therefore on those bases.
No, you're incorrect. Let me tell you
Yes.
the instruction the court gave. Just prime the collage of photos which were identified yesterday by the colonel. Just do it. It was specifically for those photos, not any other photo. Just right.
That's,
Now just if you can enlarge it, maybe just a bit, if you can. So the photos which I said you must point out whoever you say you recognize, is that a collage of those photos?
That's correct. Yeah.
Not any other photo.
Not on any other.
Yeah, that's how I recall the evidence.
Yes, my lord. I quite agree with the court on that one, my lord. Yes. But him being a data analyst went on to tell this court that the person that is being identified in those photos, who he later on said is accused number 3, and we don't have a dispute with that, the kind of a were dreadlocks. Not so?
That's correct, my lord.
Thank you.
Uthi yabo kuyidlulisa ngiyakutshilo lokho ukuthi umnakelela wesithathu ubefaka ama-dreadlocks.
Those were your words, not so?
That's correct, man.
Bekuwona amazwi ami lawo.
Now, earlier on, when we were on this point, I heard you saying you identified the person that is depicted in the photos was wearing a head rock with a ponytail. Is that what you just said some few seconds or some few minutes ago?
That's correct, my lord.
Yebo lokho engikushilo ukuthi lo muntu engike ngambona ube nama-dreadlocks awabambe njenge-ponytail.
So what is the difference of your description of the description that you gave on Friday in your evidence in chief and the description of what you said you gave on Friday just now?
It's exactly the same. I
Uthi-ke-
also mentioned ponytail on Friday.
Uthi iyafana incazelo yami engiphathe ngayo ngolesihlanu iyafana incazelo engiphathe ngayo namhlanje. Ngiye ngasho ukuthi ama-dreadlocks ane-ponytail abanjwe njenge-ponytail.
Say I put it to you on Friday, you never mentioned anything like a ponytail. You only said dreadlocks.
He did not.
Oh, he did.
When he identified the photo, he said the dreadlocks that are tied in a form of a ponytail.
Can you play the record so that... Can you play the record of yesterday regarding Colonel Steyn's...
I could be mistaken.
No,
my lord.
so you can't
No,
have it both
it's fine.
ways. You can't have it both ways. The witness is adamant that he mentioned it, and you say he did not. And I know he mentioned it. But I want you to have your own insight into the record.
The dreadlocks is together on the body.
Now, when you say the dreadlock, I hear you, but who?
The dreadlocks is together on the body.
Now, when you say the dreadlock,
It was my mistake, my lord. He said it.
I do?
I'm saying it was my mistake. So I apologize. Unfortunately, I'm putting this to him on the basis of what I heard or what I have in my record. So I withdraw that.
Yeah, okay.
I withdraw it, sir. You did say that he was wearing dreadlocks with a ponytail. My apologies.
I accept it, my lord.
Thank you.
Uthi-ke uyamxolela ke ngoba ushilo ukuthi i-dreadlock eyayibanjwe njenge-ponytail.
But now back to the pictures. You saying you don't have any comment on the pictures that I was requesting you to comment on?
That's correct, my lord. I stand with my point.
Ngisamile-ke khona lapho ukuthi angeke ngikwazi ukuthi ngiphawule mayelana-ke ney'thombe ezizovezwa la.
Thank you, sir. I've got no further questions to you.
Thank you, my lord.
Yes, Mr. Ngumalo.
Colonel, in relation to the 9th of April 2020, when you were requested by Brigadier Gineda to do the analysis, when did you finalize the analysis, your analysis?
My Lord, I can't give you an exact time because what was an ongoing investigation. Yes.
manje ke angikwazi ukusho ukuthi ngaqeda nini ngokuhlaziya ke lokho enganikezwa khona uCaptain Geninda
Brigadier.
Brigadier Geninda, sorry.
Okay.
Brigadier Geninda.
When did you prepare your affidavit?
I can I can look at it.
In fact,
This affidavit in front of court, I completed on the 30th of July this year.
Uthi ke mele affidavit lana enkantolo ngikwazeke ukuyibhala ngayiqeda nge-30 July this year.
That's correct.
Nge-30 zika July khona kulo nyaka lo.
But not no, sorry, not 30th, the 20th. 20th.
20 July.
which
20
year?
July 2023.
Which year?
This year.
This year.
Yes.
Yebo. 20.
Because it wasn't under oath, done under oath, and then I did it under oath to send to court.
Ngoba ke isifungo sasingathathiwe ke ngase ke ngithatha isifungo ke ukuthi ikwazi ukuthi izovelela la enkantolo kanye izolethwa la enkantolo.
So you receive a request on the 9th of April 2020 and you complete your affidavit this year in July.
That's correct,
2023.
my lord. What we did is, it is an ongoing investigation, and we took out some of the evidence because we needed for some other reasons. That's why we didn't put it in front of court, all the evidence we got now.
Kuyiqiniso lokho ke ukuthi ilokho njani yaqalwa nge-9 zika April 2021 kanti ke uphenyo oluqhubekayo lolu kukhona ingxenye zalolu phenyo oluzosetshenziswa ke kwezinye indawo mhlawumbe kwamanye amacala ingalokho ke ingazange yaze yaqedwa nje ngaleso sikhathi leyo affidavit yaze ke mhlawumbe ngaze ngafungiswa ngayo.
My lord, I can just mention my first statement was about 300 pages, and that's why we tried to save some time.
Ngasho ke ukuthi i-statement sami sokuqala besinama page about 300. Lokho ke sizameke ukuthi si onge isikhathi.
Did you also finalize the second affidavit, Exhibit 02, during the same period?
That's correct. Yeah, after I received a request from court, then I completed this one, and I finalized this one.
Nayo lena ngavele ngayiqeda ngaleso sikhathi ke emva ukuthi ngithole leso sicelo la enkantolo ngaqeda ngayo le yesibili.
And that is while I was in investigation in KZN. But I did receive the request on the 18th of July to compile with the request.
Ngenkathi ke ngiloko ngiphenya ke khona le eKZN ngathola leso sicelo nge-18 zika July 2023.
What did you do with both affidavits after you prepared them?
I scanned them and mailed them this side to your Joburg.
Ngawaskena ke ngabathumela khona ngapha ngase Joburg lawo ma affidavit amabili.
Were they handed to the investigation officer, Brigadier Ginenda?
That's correct.
Yebo, ngawayisa khona ke kulo ophenya icala uBrigadier Ginenda.
Colonel, let us go to page 87 of Exhibit 01. Page 87. Exhibit 01.
No. Mine is only going to 46.
That is Exhibit 02. The first one is when you receive a request on the 9th of April, 2020. That's Exhibit
Okay,
01.
yeah, okay.
Yes.
What happened here? It's two separate statements. But what I did here with the one on the laptop now, I combined it to have only one file in court. When we come here on Wednesday, when my laptop wasn't compatible to the system, I threw everything together. That is why this one now got the page 87.
Shuthi ke ama statement awuthu ngazama ke ukuwafaka endaweni eyodwa ngoba phela ke ngiye ngacaphela nokuthi i-computer yami ayikwazi ukusebenzisana ke nalokho okanye isetshenziswa ekhona la enkantolo kodwa ke mangithi ngiyabheka ke kule ekhona la kufakwe yonke into page 87 ukhona la.
Yes, I'm interested in the SMSs.
Okay. Just give me a date, then I go to the date.
Yes. The first SMS, the one dated the 26th of October 2014, at 400 hours 57 minutes 36 seconds. With the content, I'm outside. You see that one?
That's correct, my lord.
Yes.
Okay, ngiyayibona ke le SMS yange 26 ka October 2014 ebhalwe ukuthi I'm outside ngaphandle. Ngiyayibona.
You said, Colonel, from the time that is reflected there, the 4 hours 57 minutes 36 seconds, you have to add 2 hours.
That's correct, my lord.
Yebo ngikushila kanjalo ukuthi uyabona lesikhathi esivela lana 4 hours 57 minutes 36 seconds kwamele ke ukuthi ngifake 2 hours phezukwayo.
What would be the original time, Colonel, when the SMS is sent to the receiver?
It's on the statement it's 04, so actually you're going to add 2 hours, then it's 06:57, so it's just before 7.
Shuthi ke uma ufaka 2 hours leyo izothi 06:57 minutes and 36 seconds.
No, Colonel, maybe we don't get along. I mean, what would be the original time? The original time when one sends an SMS, what would be the original time when that SMS is sent to the receiver?
It will be 7 o'clock, just before 7. Let's say 2.5 minutes before 7.
Singasho ukuthi isikhathi lapho okuyisona kuyoba mhlambe 2 minutes angokuba kusha ihola le6 okanye isikhombisa.
My lord,
Shaya ihola le7.
you will also see tomorrow in the downloads of Sergeant Mabasa, it's right in front. He will give all the particulars with a +2 or a +0. Normally, the download machine decides on which are you put it on.
Sergeant Mabasa uzokwazi ukuthi apha ngaso leso sithombe ukuthi nasi isikhathi la nayi 2 hours yafakwa kanti ke okuyisona isikhathi ilesi.
Let us now turn to page 30.
Is that page 30? Council?
Many court permit me. I'm sorry, my lord, before we go to page 30, can we go to page 42? It's at paragraph 10 of Exhibit 02. Before I go to that paragraph, Colonel, were you aware of the circumstances of this case, how it was committed?
No.
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 Okay.
uthi cha angisazi isimo esenzake ukuthi lesi sigameko senzeke.
I'm asking you that question, Colonel, because of the way in which you drafted your affidavit. At page 42, paragraph 10, it reads as follows. That is now in relation to the SMSs, the second SMS, which was sent on the 26th of October 2014 at 8 hours 27 minutes 29 seconds. It reads as follows. The following SMS found on downloads of Longwe confirmed that he didn't shoot Senzo because he mentioned that he was shot in front of them. And then then thereafter you decided to quote the SMSs. Are you following, Colonel?
That's correct.
Yes.
Yebo ngiyakubona lokho ukuthi le SMS elandelayo yama downloads kaLongwe eqinisekisa ke ukuthi akazange adubule lona usenzo ngoba ke useshilo ukuthi wadubula phambi kwakhethi lokho ngiyakubona.
Where did you base that conclusion, Colonel?
That's my personal opinion, because the way he put the sentence was shot in front of me. That's my opinion.
Ingendlela umbono wami loyo ngoba uthi wadutshulwa phambi kwami. Ngithatheke lapho leyo nto leyo.
It was put to the witness, Zandile Kumalo, that in fact what Zandile is saying, Colonel, is that when Senzo was shot, when the deceased was shot at, Longwe was not in the house, was not inside the house. What will be your comment?
I can't comment on that one. I can only give my opinion on what I read on the SMS.
Angikwazi ukuphawula ke kulolo daba ke lokuthi uLongwe ubengekho makudutshula usenzo. Mina ngizokwazi nje ukuthi ngiphawule ngalokho engiphethe kulamaphepha enginawo.
So your conclusion was that from the reading of the SMS, Longwe was inside the house.
In the vicinity, he knows something, let me put it that way, because he could have informed someone that Senzo was shot in front of us.
Manje ngasho khona lapho kuleyo ndawo eduze khona lapho ubengeka khona ukuthi atshele umuntu ukuthi usenzo wadutshulwa phambi kwethu. Futhi ube khona lapho kuleyo ndawo.
We also testified, Colonel, that the handset of the deceased received a call at the clinic.
That's correct.
Yebo ngikushilo lokho ukuthi ifoni kaMufi iyathola i-call khona lapha e-clinic.
We also told this court that it received a signal from the tower which is next to the clinic.
That's correct, my lord.
Nokuthi ke kwatholakala i-signal eyayiqhamuka kule tower eliseduze nase-clinic okanye ebeliselapho e-clinic.
I'm going to reiterate, Colonel, the question that was asked by my colleague, Mr. Ramsepele. Zandile Kumalo told this court that upon their return from hospital, the deceased cell phone was underneath the stove.
My Lord, I can't testify on which phone was there. Maybe, like already indicated to the court, it's possible that they got two phone cell phone numbers. But as far as I know, the one phone was with our downloaded Sergeant Maswana, which mentioned in his statement that he couldn't download it because he haven't got the PIN. So I can't testify for that. And I know it's anything from 12 o'clock that night that we seized the phones. But I can't give an exact time to the court.
Manje angeke ngikwazi lokho ngoba phela ke ukuya ngolwazi kunalo ukuthi i-cellphone ibe khona lapha esibhedlela okanye lapha eclinic kunokwenzeka ukuthi ama cellphone abe u2 mhlambe nama cellphone numbers abe u2 kodwa ke lo wenza ama download ke abe bonisa ke ukuthi leyo cellphone ibe khona lapha ke eclinic okusuka ngaleke ngo12 o'clock okuya phezudlwana i-cellphone leyo ke ibisizandleni zethu kanti ke wase uyasho ukuthi uzamile ukuthi ayivule ke akana pin bingavuleki.
You also testified about the SIM swap.
That's correct, my Lord.
It was made in relation to which handset?
The one which Sensu was using, or was using.
Le SIM swap esikhuluma ngayo ke ile mayelana ke nale phone bisetshenziswa uye usenzo.
When was the SIM swap made?
SIM swap was made on the 27th, around about 10 o'clock.
SIM swap lena yenzwa nge-27th of
October.
nge-27 zika October ngabo 10 o'clock.
Did it receive made calls or what was the position?
The first was a receive a SMS,
Yokuqala wase ke uthola i-SMS
and then it was either a missed call
kwaba nenye mhlawumbe kuba i-miss call
at 13:57:08.
13:37:08 seconds.
Were you able to investigate who was making that call?
We did try it, but we wasn't successful.
Siye sazama ke ukubona ukuthi ubani ubenza lolo cingo kanti ke azange sikwazi ukuphumelela.
Because we did, my Lord, try to locate a possible place in the vicinity of the tower, but it wasn't possible because it was too long ago.
Ngoba siye sazama ke ukuthi sibheke indawo okungeyona okanye indawo okuyiyona kodwa ke ngoba lesigameko senzeke isikhathi bese kundluleke iminyaka emithathu kanti isikhathi esiningi sendlule.
Were you able to ascertain who made that SIM swap or not?
No, like I mentioned on Friday, my opinion again is if you do some swap, you must have an ID. So it must be someone close to the owner of the phone. That's my opinion.
Angeke ngikwazi ukusho ukuthi ubani wenza le SIM swap ngoba ngishilo nje ukuthi uma uhamba uyokwenza i-SIM swap ufanele ukuthi ube ne-ID. Kunokwenzeka ke umuntu wenza i-SIM swap umuntu osondeleneke nomnikazi wefoni okanye waleyo SIM card.
Thank you, Canon. Thank you, my lord. I have no further cross-examination. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Mr. Mshola.
Thank you, my lord. Colonel Steyn, is it correct that you have testified about the number that we have given to this court and you said it belonged to Mr. Ntuli? Is that
Yes.
correct?
That's no suspect number 5.
Mr. Ntuli?
Yes, you know.
Uthi yebo ngikuthulile lobo bufakazi obumayelana ke nenombolo okanye cell phone number engithe mina eka babuntuli umangalelwa wesihlanu.
Okay. Where did you get that number from?
I also received it from the investigation team, as well as the searches were all done by myself.
Leyo nombolo ngayithola ke kule thimba labaphenyi, kanti ke nami ngithe mangiloko ngiphenya ke ngase ngiyayithola leyo nombolo.
Do you have any proof from the service provider that it belonged to Mr. Ntuli?
Not from the service provider.
Kanti ke kulaba ke abahlizeka ke ngeenkonzo zoxhumano angizange ngithole leyo nombolo uqhamuka kubo. Uqinisekisa ke ukuthi leyo nombolo ke ababuntuli.
Okay.
Secondly, Colonel Steyn, you testified that on all the occasions that you mentioned, the number belonging to Mr. Ntuli communicated with that one of Miss Kelly Khumalo. Am I correct?
That's correct, my lord.
Yebo ngushilo lokho. Ukuleyo nombolo ke okuthiwa ke iyona eka babuntuli. Leyo nombolo ke ibeloko ikhulumisana okanye ifonela okanye nje ukuxhumana nayo inamba lena ka Miss Kelly Khumalo.
Can you just quickly remind me on those incidents? I remember the 20th of August that you testified, and there are other few dates in which you said there was a communication. Can you remind me of those instances?
The first one was on the 2nd of August
Which year?
of 2014.
Yes.
Yoqala ke i-date mayelana ke nalolo kuxhumano olube khona kube yi2 zika August 2014
And then again on the 15th of October 2014.
nange 15 zika October 2014.
Yes.
That's the only two I refer to.
Ama dates awu2 ke engingakhuluma ngawo lawo.
Okay, that's the only communication between
That's the only two I pick up, yes, correct.
Mr. Ntuli and Miss Khumalo.
That's correct, my lord.
Okay.
Iwona ke amalokho njani ikhawa zo2 lapho ke kube noxhumano phakathi kwa babuntuli nayo uKelly Khumalo.
Okay, because you understand the chart very well, who called who in these transactions?
That's correct.
Who called who?
Your suspect number 5 called Kelly.
Umangalelo wesihlanu uyena wafonela uKelly.
Because on my previous page,
On the 2nd of August, it was the number allegedly said to belong to Mr. Ntuli that made a call to a number allegedly said to belong to Miss Kelly Khumalo. Is
that's
that
correct, my lord.
Okay.
Yebo kuyiqiniso lokho ke ukuthi nge2 zika August 2014 kwakuyinambolo ke okwakuthiwa inambolo ka babuntuli eyayifonela inambolo okwakuthiwa inambolo ka lokhonjani ke ka Kelly Khumalo.
On the 15th of October, that's the same.
That's correct, my lord.
Nange 15 kwabanjalo 15 October 2014 kwabanjalo.
Do you have, from your investigation, I see you are qualified from the experience and the qualifications you have told us. But maybe just to clear me, I'm lost about the institutions wherein you studied. In Ferry Glen, Pretoria, which institution, which university is that?
It's not a university. It's a cell phone data specialist company who was based in South Africa. But they're not in South Africa anymore. They moved out.
Okay.
Kanti ke iFerry Glen lena la ngiye ngafunda khona ke akusisona ke isikhungo semfundo. Kuyinkampani nje esebenzana ke ne i-data enjalo ke yophenyo abasekho ke la eMzansi.
Okay.
That's called the I2 company. The company is called I2.
Igama laleyo nkampani ke i2.
Okay. It's not an educational institution, it's just a company.
No, it's an institution. We was part of the training of all the police officers as well as your private factors, companies and stuff.
uthi ke kuyindawo yokuqeqesha kakhulukazi ke amaphoyisa aqeqeshelwa khona ke kuyisikhungo semfundiso ke.
What type of qualification you obtained in that institution, from that institution? Especially in this one, in Ferry Glen, Pretoria, investigative software.
Ferry Glen, Pretoria. You see, the company was based previously in Garsfontein. Then they moved to Ferry Glen, Pretoria.
Yabona kokuqala ke leyo nkampani ibise Garsfontein Pretoria. Yasuka ke iya Ferry Glen Pretoria.
And then you can receive training in analyst notebook, anything in the which you need to do analysis.
Okay, but the type of qualification that you received there, you obtained, what is it? Is it a diploma? Is it a certificate? Is it a recognition?
It's both. It depends on how long your course.
Ngaba zothunje kanjalo i-certificate okanye i-diploma kuncike ekutheni ke wena ke uthatha isikhathi esingakanani lokufunda khona la.
How long did you take?
Some of the courses I took about 3 to 4 weeks. Some of them is only a week or two. And then you go for regular update courses.
You go for?
Regular update courses.
Amanye amakhosi ke bekuyiviki nje kuphela, amanye amakhosi beku amaviki amane. Emva kwalokho ke usungahamba ke uyovuselela.
Okay, but in your case, what was the duration of your study here?
My first one, which I received in Garsfontein, it was about 6 weeks.
Le yokuqala engayithola eGarsfontein yaba 6 weeks.
And then after that, it was normal about 2 to 3 weeks.
Emva kwalokho ke kwaba ke isikhathi esijwayelekile amaviki amabili kuya emavikini amathathu.
And what did you get? Certificate, diploma?
A certificate.
Ngathola ke ama certificates.
Okay. Then let's move on now. To my question that I wanted to put to you. As a result of the investigation that you did, can you tell this court, can you be able to tell this court with certainty if the number allegedly said to belong to accused number 2 was used by number 2 at the time when that call or that transaction was made?
My Lord, I can only mention to the court that number made a call to that number.
So what is your answer to my question?
I can't tell the court. If the investigation team can't come and say, this is the phone who belongs to you, I can't answer it.
Yabona ke uma ithimba labaphenyi lingeke likwazi ukuza lizosho ukuthi yabona i-cellphone lena i-cellphone yakho angeke ngikwazi ukusho ukuthi leyo cellphone okanye leyo number yaleyo cellphone yafonela inumber ethize ke okuyinumber kaSibanibani lokho ngeke ngikwazi ukusho.
Okay. Same with the receiver, with the recipient.
That's correct, my Lord. I can only tell that number receive a call from each other.
Yabona ke nokuthi ubani ofonayo nobani othola i-call lokho angikwazi ukuthi ngingakusho. Engakusho nje ukuthi inombolo ethize mhlambe yafonela inombolo ethize okanye inombolo ethize yathola ucingo oqhamuka kuyinombolo ethize.
Okay. So I want us to correct that, Kenya, because you are experienced. You don't have proof that the phone call that was made from this number and then the call that was received from this number was made by 2 people. So let's use reference to the numbers, then people.
What I can tell, well mentioned to the court, the investigation team did give me enough evidence to tell me that the number ends with 202 belongs to suspect number 5. The other number ends with 458 belongs to Kelly Kumalo. And that the investigation leader will come and testify about that.
Manje ke mina ngakusho ke ukuthi ithimba labaphenyi likwazile ukunginikeza ulwazi olwanele ukuthi ke ngikwazi ukusho ukuthi le nombolo ke ephelela ngo202 yommangalela wesihlanu kanti 458 egcina ngo458 ile ka Kelly Kumalo. Lokho ke bangakwazi ukuthi beze la enkantolo bazokwazi ukuqinisekisa.
Kenan, I don't want us to testify or to refer on the hearsay. That's why I said from your experience, can you tell this court with certainty that the person who made a call on such a date, which is the 2nd and 15th, was Mr. Ntuli? And then your answer was no. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, bayilokho engikushilo ukuthi anginaso isiqiniseko ukuthi ngempela umuntu uwenza ulokho njani ke i-call ngey2 zika August 2014 nange-15 zika October 2014 ukuthi ubaba uNtuli ngithe mina ngeke ngikwazi ukuthi ngenze leso siqiniseko.
So let's move in that line, Colonel.
But now I also want to mention to the court, I got enough evidence which I received from the investigation team that the number belongs to A, B, or C. But I can't tell that I saw the phone in your hand.
Manje ke nami ngiyakusho ke lokho ukuthi ukuya ngemininingwane okanye ulwazi olwaqhamuka khona lapha yana ke kuyithimba labaphenyi lwanele kangangoba ngiyakwazi ukusho ke ukuthi leyo number bekuyinamba kaSibanibani, kodwa ke anginabo ubufakazi ophathekayo ukuthi ngithi ngambona ephethe leyo phone lo muntu ke oxhumene naleyo number.
Colonel, for the sake of progress, let us not waste the court's time. Let us not refer to someone's evidence that amounts to hearsay. I am saying from your knowledge, let's move in that line so that we can be able to move forward. Do you understand?
I understand, my lord.
Yes.
I agree with that because
Thank
someone else will come and testify about the point.
Ngiyavumelana nalokho ngoba ukhona omunye umuntu ozoza ke ezothula ubufakazi obumayelana ke ngalokho akwenzile ke.
Yes. And then from your investigation, can you tell this court with certainty if the number read into the record as the number belonging to Mr. Ntuli was record or not? If yes, to which address was it registered to?
The number wasn't record in his name.
Okokuqala ke inombolo lena ke okuthiwa kwakuyinombolo kalona ubaba uNtuli ibingekho record okanye ibingekho abazange bayirike ngaphansi kwelokho njani ke.
So it was record under which name?
I'm not sure, my lord.
Angazi ke igama elalivelela elibonisa ukuthi ke ilona elarika leyo nombolo okwakuthiwa ke inombolo kababa uNtuli.
From your investigation, you couldn't find that?
That's correct, my lord.
Okay.
Ukuqhamuka ke kuphenyo engangilenza akuvelelanga ukuthi leyo nombolo yarikhelwa egameni likabani.
Okay. So it is your evidence that from your investigation you couldn't determine if this number allegedly to set belonging to accused number 5 was recorded under his name or was recorded under any any other person's name.
It was definitely record, my lord, but not under his name.
Yona ke yarikwa leyo nombolo kodwa ke hayi ngaphansi kwegama laka Mangalelo kanye accused number 5.
Okay.
Isandla sika Mangalelwa, the accused person number 5 hand is
Sorry,
up.
my lord, can I just have it? Thank you, my lord, for the indulgence of the court. Sorry, Colonel, for the disturbance. You were just giving the explanation. Aside, if you say it was recorded under whose name?
I'm not sure, but definitely not his name because then I should have known. And you couldn't use it if it's not Rico.
Anginaso ke isiqiniseko sokuthi ibingekho segameni lakhe. Kushuthi ibirikiwe yona kodwa ke ibingarikwanga egameni lakhe. Anginalo ke igama eyarikhelwa kulo.
And the address given there too as well under the RICA transaction?
I'm not sure about the address, but then definitely not sure it wasn't his name.
Okay.
Kodwa ke anginaso isiqiniseko se-address yokurika ke leyo nombolo. Kodwa ke engikwazi ukuthi igama bekungelona igama lakhe elalirike leyo SIM card.
So if it was recorded under someone else's details, how then do you say it belonged to Mr. Ntuli?
No. Identify this number was used by suspect number 5.
Ngoba sengishilo ke khona ulwazi esalithola kwithimba labaphenyi ukuthi leyo number lo ke iregistered ngaphansi komsola wesihlanu.
So the information you got is that it was used by number 5 by Mr. Ntuli, not that it was recorded under Mr. Ntuli.
That's correct.
Yebo kuyiqiniso lokho ke ulwazi engalithola luthi yayisetshenziswa ke ngubaba uNtuli hayi kangako ukuthi leyo number lo ke yarikwa ngaphansi kuka baba uNtuli.
Who gave you that information?
The investigation team.
Ithimba labaphenyi ibona ke banginikeza lolo
And
lwazi.
precisely who? Can you mention the name of
It will be
the
Brigadier Gaginda.
Brigadier Gininda.
Brigadier Keninda?
Brigadier Gininda. That's correct.
From your investigation, Colonel Steyn, from the number that is alleged to have been, that is alleged to belong to Mr. Ntuli, was it placed at the crime scene on the date of the incident? Through your investigation, maybe by tower, it may be by whatever, was it placed at the crime scene on the date of the incident?
No, my lord, because I already mentioned we arrested them too late in the lapse period, so we couldn't apply for 205s.
Akukho la kuvelela khona ke ukuthi leyo number lo okuthiwa eka msola wesihlanu yayikhona khona lapho endaweni yesigameko ngelanga lo kwenzakala kwaleso sigameko ngoba ke siyesa qala ukusebenza phezulu kwaleli cala sekundlule isikhathi sokuthi umuntu angakwazi ukuthi enze isicelo section 205.
From the communication that we have testified, tell me if I'm speaking soft, from the communication that we have testified about in this court, precisely the two, the one for the 2nd of August 2014 and the one for 15 October, can you be able to tell this court if from your intense investigation that we have done, you were able to pick up the conversation between the two people or between the two devices?
That's correct.
That communicated to each other?
No, we're not able. You can only trace that there was communication. You can't recall the conversation.
Into esingakhona nje thina ukuyenza ukuthungatha ukuthi kwakhona uxhumano obube khona okanye ukukhulumisana obube khona kwalama number lo amabili ukuthi kwakhulunywa kuthiwani action into esingakwazi ukuthi sithole leyo.
The question I'm going to ask now, Colonel, I'm asking it because you are a senior officer of the SAPS. Do you understand that?
And one of the oldest as well, my lord.
Yebo, mina ke omdala futhi.
From?
Ngowe experience mhlambe ke ukusebenza futhi.
From your investigation, does your evidence inform this court that if there is anything that was conspired between Mr. Ntuli and Ms. Kelly Kumar out of your investigation? Could you determine?
No, I
Can you
can't.
tell the court if there was any conspiracy or if there was any discussions about the commission of the offense of this case?
No, my lord, I can't.
Angeke ngikwazi ukusho ukuthi kwaba nezinkulumo ezihlose ukuthi mhlambe kube nokubulawa kuka Senzo. Angeke ngikwazi ukuqinisekisa ke lokho. Okwakuqhamuka khona kumangalela wesihlanu nomunye ke bekhuluma naye.
Is it also correct, Colonel Steyn, that Ms. Khumalo is not a suspect in this case?
That's correct.
Yebo kuyiqiniso ke ukuthi uMam Khumalo okanye uMiss Khumalo akusiyena ke umsola kuleli cala.
Is there any unlawfulness in the communication between the number allegedly said to belong to Mr. Ntuli and the number allegedly said to belong to Ms. Kelly Khumalo?
If there was, I can't prove it.
Uma ngabe kukhona ukuthize okungekho semthethweni phakathi koxhumano lwenambolo ka umsolo wesihlanu nalona ke uKelly Khumalo, angeke ngikwazi ukuthola ubufakazi obuzotshengisa ke ukuthi khona ukuthize okungekho semthethweni okwakukhona ekuxhumaneni kwalamanambolo awu2.
Okay. From your experience, Colonel Steyn, if someone's cell phone is said to have been picked up at the crime scene or linked with the crime scene at the time when the incident took place, does that mean that the offense was committed by the owner of that cell phone, of that number?
It doesn't mean that, but he must actually, the owner of the phone must explain what did he do at the crime scene.
Manje akusho ke lokho ukuthi uma khalekhukhwini womuntu utholakala endaweni yesigameko, endaweni yobugebengu la okanye la ubugebengu benzakale khona, akusho ke ukuthi uwenze ubugebengu lo muntu lo, kodwa ke ufanele ukuthi alethe incazelo emayelana ke nokuthi ubenzani lapho endaweni yesigameko kanye ifoni yakhe ifunani lapho endaweni yesigameko.
No, Colonel, my question is, besides that person giving you information from your own investigation, when you investigate and you find that the number of that person, it is discovered that it linked or it was at the crime scene at that particular, it was connected, I think that's what you said, it was connected to with the crime scene. Does that mean from your own investigation or experience, it was used by the owner of that cell phone?
That's correct. If you can just refer to which number, then we can go back and see if there was a call made in the vicinity of the crime scene from which tower. Then I can tell you there was a call made by, let's say, Kelly Khumalo from the crime scene, or Zandile Khumalo.
But you can't connect it with a person. You can just connect that the number.
That's correct. A number in the cell phone
was used.
That's correct.
You cannot tell with certainty as to who was using that number.
If I got witnesses who can state that, then I can prove it.
Yebo, uma ngabe kunabo ofakazi abazokwazi ke uqinisekisa lokho ukuthi leyo number lo ke yasetshenziswa usibanibani khona lapha endaweni yesigameko. Kodwa ke ngamanye amazwi kunzima ukusho ukuthi lo muntu lo waleyo number lo uyisebenzisa uyena wayisebenzisa lapho, kuzodingeka ofakazi ukuthi babe khona ukuqinisekisa ukuthi ngempela uyena usebenzise leyo number endaweni yesigameko.
Okay. From the investigation that you have done, do you have proof? Can I just rephrase, my lord? I'm sorry. From your investigation, does it show to any degree of certainty if the communication between accused number 3 and Mr. Ntuli shows any conspiracy to commit the offense?
No, my lord. Like I mentioned, I can just tell the court that there was communication.
Mina engakwenza nje phela ukusho ukuthi labantu baxhumana okanye bayakhulumisana uthi inkulumo yabo ke yayihlosa ukuthi khona mhlambe ubugebengu obuthize kumele benziwe, lokho angeke ngikwazi ukuthi ngiqinisekise kuko.
My Lord, can I ask that we pause here? Tomorrow I will continue with the towers that were set to, the towers that were referred to this court, wherein the number allegedly belonging to the accused was set, it was connecting from.
My Lord, there isn't any towers which links to the suspect. Remember, we didn't have his 205 of time of the crime. We only got the other parties.
It may be towers, it may be the other word, but they are Kimberley, they are Limpopo, they are those areas.
Yeah, but that's correct.
Yes.
That's not the information of suspect number 5. It's totally nothing to do with him.
And then we'll take it from there tomorrow, my Lord.
Kanti ke yabona lamathawa lawo kukhulunywa ngawo okuthiwa ke hayi cha bengewona amathawa kodwa okanye abenga xumanisi ummangalelo wesihlanu okanye abengakhulumi ke ngenambolo okuthiwa ekammangalelo wesihlanu besingabheke kuye lona ummangalelo wesihlanu. Asikho ke isidingo kangaka ukuthi singaze singene kangako lapho uthi ummeli kammangalelo wesihlanu ukuthi sizosuka khona lapho ke soqala khona lapho ke kusasa sichubeke siye phambili.
You were supposed to bring some information, remember? Which you couldn't because your devices were not compatible.
That's correct. I can bring the information of, but that's going to be the same information which going to be bring by Sergeant Mbaza.
No, not quite. But the request was that you would do it if you are requested to.
Okay, then I will. It's only the downloads.
The downloads, yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Baloi, am I correctly quoting you?
Yes, indeed. The witness also mentioned that he can bring the Section 205s as well.
Okay. Are you available tomorrow?
I will arrange, my lord.
Otherwise, are you going to play golf maybe?
Then I will not arrange.
Okay, the matter is postponed to tomorrow then, 10 o'clock.
Sochubeka kusasa ke.